What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the aquarium vault. Today we're gonna be live streaming, unboxing some plants. I did a video, what was it, last Saturday or Sunday? I released a video, was it? Yeah, I think it was, where I unboxed the plant. I unboxed a order and I kind of did a little voiceover to it. So I figured I'd do this one live so you guys can see. I haven't done, I think, a live unboxing on YouTube in quite some time. So we got a bunch of plants in here. I figured I'd share with you guys. If you guys can tag along, feel free. What up, Jaden? What's up, Nathan? So we're gonna get right into this. It's a rather large order, and I really don't have a whole lot of room for most of this stuff. So we're gonna have to make do with what we got. So first off, oh geez, okay. These are even bigger than last time. They shipped me extra large. So last time I ordered these Anubis here. These are Anubis heterophilia, and they were large. These are extra large, so these are even bigger than what they were last time. And holy crap, they definitely are bigger than last time. They are huge. They definitely need to get in some water. You can see them kind of looking a little dry, but they're okay for the most part, it looks like. But they are huge. As you can see, they are the size of my arm, so I need those for my 150. Buy them while you can. I think there's 5 available. I ordered 6. Typically what I do is when I do a shipment, because I've learned now, I only put up like 95% of what I order, because there's always that slight chance that like one of these is not gonna make it, or start to melt, or just not be good right away. And I don't want to, I don't want to sell everything at one time, just in case that happens. So I typically only put about 90 to 95% of what I order on. That's why when you look at the photos of the tanks and see the stream and all that, you can see the tanks full of plants. Those are actually just plants that I kept back because I didn't want to completely sell out or have issues. Oh, thank you, B Aquatics. B Aquatics was saying he was editing a video review. When it's done, B, send me the link, like either on Facebook, email, or whatever, and I'll add it to the website. If you guys ever do an unboxing video, I feature you guys on the website under the unboxing section. So that way, if you have a, oops, I forgot to tie this up. If you have a, a YouTube channel that you're trying to grow, figure what better way than to feature you on my website. You'll get people that are actually into plants and tanks and stuff. So yeah, huge Anubis. I tie it down with these weights. That just helps it kind of stay down a little bit. These things are very buoyant. They do need to be tied down right away. But these kind of Anubis would be great for any sort of cichlid or goldfish tank, anything that with big fish. This is what you want. Tie this up to your rocks or driftwood if you have any, and they'll be pretty good. The goldfish really won't be able to tear them up, neither will the cichlids. So anyway, I'm gonna get back, so bye for now. No problem, B. Have fun, enjoy. Hope the video is a positive review, which I'm sure it is. You know, it's funny, somebody actually left a review today on one of the plants that that's on the website, but it was a review correcting information, and they left a 1-star review. I'm like, I can't, whoa, and on top of that, they didn't even buy the plant. So I'm like, I can't publish this review. I appreciate the information, because it was basically like I had something listed wrong in the description. Really, honey? The scientific name, and he corrected me. But he could have shot me a message, Instead of putting a 1-star review on a plane he didn't even order. Like, thanks. I appreciate it. I like the newer pictures of... oh, what up? James is in here. Challenge the Wild. What's going on? I like the newer pictures on your website. that have size examples with coins for comparison. Yeah, so Matthew, that's actually, I'm ordering a bunch of equipment to be able to take those pictures more efficiently and better, because I want to have it like a solid white background so you can't see reflections of light or anything like that, and I want to make it look really nice. So that's what we're doing for everything on the website. We're going to do several pictures, so you're going to see it laid out like that. You're going to see it in a tank, and then you're going to see it floating in like a little kind of container, which I gotta say, I kind of ripped the last idea off from Rob from Flip Aquatics. I think it was Amanda's idea. They put subspratate or moss in like a breeder box, but it was like floating and it looked super nice. I'm like, I gotta do something like that. So I'm gonna do something similar on my website as well. So yeah, these are huge Anubis. This is literally the size, if I hold out the broadest leaf, nearly the size all the way to my shoulder. This thing's huge. So, big tanks. I ordered those. So normally I wouldn't stock something that big, but because so many people were like, I want that Anubis, and I only ordered 6 to begin with, and they sold out instantly last time, I ordered 6 more. They're huge. I can't keep a lot in stock, but I ordered them again for people that want them. I'm probably not going to order them on my next order unless these sell out like that. Just because they're so huge, they take up a ton of space in the tank, and I can't devote that much real estate to it. I want Pintos. Pintos are going to be a little while. Get some Monte Carlo. I can't remember, because this week I'm ordering from a new supplier, so I'm going to have a ton of new stuff in as well. So, I don't know if they have Monte Carlo. I'm going to have to check. Looking to acclimate plants to submersion in the UK myself after Xmas. Love your channel for inspiration. Thank you, Gamby. I appreciate it. Can you ship to Hawaii? I certainly can, and I have before, and they've made it just fine. The only place I haven't shipped to yet, I've shipped to Puerto Rico. So if you live in Puerto Rico and you're watching this, you can order. They get there. What did I do? I sent to Hawaii. The only place I haven't sent to yet is Alaska, which I actually really want to ship to Alaska. I think would be cool. Oh, use my code, Jenna. Jenna's already got the code challenge. Go get your own followers. So next up, and this is actually quite beautiful, this is contortion valve. This is very big. Normally it's not this size. Like it's pretty tall, but I would say this is probably about an extra 2 inches tall. So this is really nice looking contortion valve this week. So whoever ordered this, you're gonna get some nice looking plants. All of these plants are up on the website to be bought right now. I did update the inventory Thursday night when I knew what I was getting in my shipment. So you can't. That cold pack is completely warm. That's okay though. So yeah, so you can order this stuff right now. It's all on the website. So if you see something you like, go for it. And if it's not in stock, probably because it already sold. So. I literally have to kind of make a path for it to sit there because there's so much of it. I'm going to take some nice pictures tonight, I think, of some of these plants. Just because they are very nice looking. What was the name of the huge Anubis? It's called Anubis heterophylla. Just look up Anubis and you'll see it. It's a picture. It's a white background with a very long Anubis. You'll see it. Is your Java moss cheap? Because I can't find inexpensive. Oh, so I don't sell Java moss right now because I just can't keep it in stock. I have a tiny bit growing, but it's not ready. The nursery that I'm ordering from this following week is going to have some Java moss. With that said, I don't know if it's going to be the immerse grown kind that this nursery sells, and in which case I probably won't sell it if it is the same stuff. So I have to really see what it is first. But if it's nice submerged grown Java moss, it will be up on the website. It's just immerse grown is no good. It nearly always completely dies. You'll maybe be left with like if you order a big chunk of it, you'll be left with like this much of it after it all dies back. So I don't sell it from my nursery. I grow it out myself, but I can't keep up with demand. And they do have some other mosses though that I'll be ordering. And yeah, that's about it with that. I will be getting some tissue cultures of some other types of moss. Not essentially Java moss, but other types that, I mean, all moss is relatively the same unless you're really going into the expensive, high quality moss, which I'm going to give you guys a spoiler right now for since you're watching the live stream. I ordered $200 worth of rare moss today. And it's not wholesale portions, it's hobbyist portions. Because they're rare, I can't get them from anybody else, and somebody had them up for sale, so I bought a whole bunch of moss. So we're gonna have some rare moss soon. I mean, I'm gonna have to grow it out, but it's gonna be awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I was at Petco today and saw the 40 breeder, and I low-key want one, but I have so many other things. Yeah, I know. Most moss is grown immersed, yeah. Unfortunately, most moss is mini Pelia. Yeah, so I'm getting mini Pelia. I'm getting several other rare mosses that I've never even heard of. This is coming directly from a moss collector that has a ton of it. They also had star moss, but it's like $80 for a teeny tiny little portion. I'm like, I'm not about to spend that much. But I'm going to do that. That's going to be a whole video unboxing. I'll show you the different kinds of moss that I got. If I can, I'm going to try and do macro videos of it too, because I have a lens for my iPhone. I don't know if I'll be able to get like really decent videos, but I'm going to try so you guys can see like the difference or nice close-up shots. So what moss do you recommend for moss trees? Well, it really depends on the look that you're going for. Either flame moss would be nice if you wanted to stand straight up. Weeping moss is a good one. Xmas moss is another good one. Or peacock moss is another good one. So alright, so here is ruby red jungle val, and you really can't tell all that well, but if you look right here, that little bit right there, it's coming up on camera looking brown, but that's actually a bit red. So what happens is ruby red jungle val, by far the nicest looking jungle val. It has a broader leaf than typical jungle val, it's a brighter green, and it's way hardier than typical jungle val. And what it does is it has, as it grows and it gets closer to the light, the tips turn red. If you have really high light going all the way down to the substrate, the whole leaf will turn red. So it all depends on your tank. But these can grow in low light, they just won't turn red for you. So really good jungle val. I recommend it over all the other kinds, but everybody just knows regular jungle val, and they're like, oh, it's red, you probably can't grow it in my tank. But these are easy to grow vals. So if you're looking for cool vals, this is the val to get. This and Italian val, which I think I ordered some too of. It's funny, I didn't order jungle val on my original order this week because I had some when I was placing the order with the nursery. But then that night, it was Tuesday night, then I went home and I shipped out all the plants, and I'm like looking at them like, wait a minute, where's all my jungle val? And it turns out everybody bought them. So I was like, oh, well, this isn't good. I don't have enough jungle val for next week. So I called them and had them add on some more jungle val because I didn't order any. And, you know, people still order regular jungle val. I try and tell them, listen, this is the better kind. Honestly, like, it's far superior than typical jungle val. And if I was to pick one, this would be it. Just overall a nicer plant. So what I'm doing is I bunch it up to stick it down in the tank so that way it stays down instead of floating. Because I don't typically plant these all that well. I kind of just leave most of the plants kind of floating in the tank. They're not completely planted. Because they move so quick, it makes no sense to plant them down. Alright, so that's ruby red. What else we got here? So something that I haven't had in quite some time, and I do recommend if you wanted it to get it down, because this sells out super fast with the nursery. This is regular Anubis Nana. Regular Anubis Nana. These sell out super fast. The nursery barely has any in stock, or when they do get them in stock, they go very quickly. So if you want an Anubis Nana, now is the time to get them. I literally have not been able to order it for weeks, so. Can't wait to get my order for my 90-gallon. Nice, Jenna. Appreciate the order. I saw it come through. Thank you. Is Flamingo Crypt supposed to have a brownish middle vein? The vein is slightly darker than the leaf, but I would say it's more of a pink, like a dark pink than brown. Any boost coming in soon? Possibly. I can order tissue cultures of green wavy, but as far as the other varieties, it requires an import order, and I'm not really feeling the import order right now. Last time I ordered boosts, I mean, I only sold a couple, and then I had to dilute the rest, and I didn't really, there wasn't any profit to be made on it, so it wasn't the best investment at the time. With that said, though, I may order some because the supplier that I get the boost from actually has a bunch of other plants that I want to get too now. He's not just doing boosts. He actually has mosses and stem plants growing as well, so I may pick up some from him. But it sucks when you order a product and it doesn't move, and then because I didn't have the space, I had to dilute it quickly. So I wound up selling a bunch of it pretty much at cost. But once I get the rest of the tank set up and I have more space to hold stuff like that, then it's a different story. Then I can actually just kind of get it and hold it until it actually all sells at the normal price. Which, I don't know if you saw yesterday on Facebook, we drilled the 3 more tanks that are going on the rack over here. And then tomorrow I'm planning on painting those. So tomorrow I'm going to paint them. They'll be up on the racks, and then next week I'm gonna try and plumb the 2 middle ones. If I can get the 2 plumbed in the middle, then we're golden. But I don't know if that's actually gonna be possible or not. We're gonna have to see how it all works out. It's gonna be a bit tricky, that's all I know. Hey Justin, I got the giant hairgrass and ruby red valves safely. They're adapting to my tank. How can I get the giant hairgrass to look like your picture? So the best thing for giant hairgrass is kind of just leave it there, and the more you trim it, the bushier it's gonna get. But first, you want to wait for it to establish. Okay, so if you just got it, I would say wait about 3 weeks or so. Then like you'll be able to like slightly tug on it, and if it doesn't do anything, like if it kind of is like all rooted there, then you know it's good, right? So then what you do is you start trimming it, start trimming the top, and what's going to happen is it's going to be like, all right, fine. So it's going to start spreading out, and then it's going to start growing faster and taller the more you trim it. So you see the root. Oh, okay. So you have so there's like, it's weird how it grows. I think it's like baby plants on the top. You could trim those and replant them, but sometimes that's a pain because there may be several of them. So what I would recommend is exactly what I said. Wait till it's like really going, then start trimming it. And you can replant it if you want to like really like get your money's worth and kind of start spreading it out. As long as it has roots, it should take hold. What's nice about giant hairgrass is you could cut it to any size, you know, and keep it trimmed that way, where like valves, you don't want to trim that way. You want to actually remove the whole leaf from the bottom of the plant. You don't want to actually trim the tops because it actually damages the leaves. But giant hairgrass can be cut to fit any size tank, essentially, so it's kind of nice. Okay, Mr. Anubis Nana, where are you going? Let's find you a quality home. You're gonna go right here so you don't get mixed up with anything else. It's so hard sometimes keeping track of what plants are what. especially the ones that look very similar to each other. So I try and spread them out as much as possible and keep them, you know, contained so they don't get mixed in with other ones. Alright, that's regular jungle. What else did I get in here? So I got three more tissue cultures. I actually ordered a bunch of tissue cultures, but this is all they had. I was like, damn guys, really? I bought a bunch last week and now they're all gone. So I got, I think some pearl moss. I think this is string moss or something, and then spiky moss, which is flame moss. So those will go upstairs. Thank you so much for the orders, guys, all of you that are ordering. I really appreciate it. Just got a couple in there. Let's see. The bottom leaves of my Bacopa plants are browning in my 55 tank, 13 inches high. The tank is 1 month old. Where did you get the Bacopa from, Famous? My pearlweed stopped melting and I'm seeing new growth. I already replaced replaced a lot the carpet like a month ago with Glasso, but the pearl is coming through. Will there be a problem with them together? So when I've kept both pearlweed and Glasso actually together. Funny thing that you're doing that, because I've done the same thing. My Glasso didn't survive, and it's not because of the pearlweed, but I think the pearlweed had something to do with it. But my Bosmanis at the time ate all the Glasso. They literally ripped it all up. They ate it. It was a really expensive salad, because I literally ordered a 1 gallon bag, like Ziploc bag full of Glasso. Somebody had it in their tank. They cut it all and they wanted to get rid of it all. So I took all their trimmings. I spent all the time plugging away, planting them all. Within a couple of days, they were all gone. The Bosmanis ate them all. But I did have a couple that survived. And the ones that did survive, I noticed that the pearlweed was really getting into it, and I had to keep trimming the pearlweed to kind of create a border. So that is what I would recommend. Cut the pearlweed often, because pearlweed will get out of control if you don't keep it maintained. When you do trim pearlweed, turn off your filter, because you don't want it blowing all over the place, unless you don't care. But if you turn off your filter, it'll just float up to the top, and you could scoop it out with a net. But if you have your filter going, it's going to blow all over the place, and literally pearlweed only needs a little bit to like catch on to something and continue growing. It's a very invasive plant if it grows well for you. So just keep in mind, if it's really growing good wherever you have it, if it gets anywhere else, it's going to continue to grow really well. So trim often, don't let it get blown all over the tank. Live Aquaria, I live in New York City. Okay, so Famous, odds are you bought it as an immersed plant, and what that means is, you know, lots of these are immersed plants, but basically with stem plants, they're grown in water, and then, you know, here's the water line, and they continue to grow, and then the nurseries or wherever they get them from typically trim them at the water line, and then they give you that bunch that was above the water line. What happens is when you put that in a fish tank, now all those leaves that were used to growing above the water line and in the air now have to convert into their submerged grown state. So that's why I don't sell any stem plants that aren't fully converted. Jungle Vows, Anubis, stuff like that is a bit different, because they, one, transition better than stem plants, and two, they're much slower growers. Stem plants grow really fast once they're fully converted. So I sell them fully converted, but you probably got immersed grown. So what I would say to you is, pretty much, if you see new growth coming out of the stem, it's good, it's going to survive. But what you need to do is you need to trim off the bottom part wherever it's melting back and losing all those leaves. Get rid of that, because it's going to die anyway, and then just plant the tip that's already grown in your aquarium, and that's going to be your new plant, and that's going to do great because it's already converted. It's very tricky when dealing with immersed grown plants, but that's why I would do it. Guy here, what's the surprise? Did I miss it? Life with Pet said, did I miss the surprise? Well, I mean, it's more of a surprise live stream, but don't tell anybody, shh. But we're doing an unboxing because my last video, everybody was like, there's several people that were like, oh, I don't want a time lapse and all that. So here you go. Here's your unboxing live for those that don't have Facebook and want to check us out on Facebook and all that. But if anybody doesn't know who Life with Pets is, you should go check her out. Same thing with Challenge the Wild, great YouTubers. Let's see, I cut plants, removing the brown leaves, and replanted, bought API, root tabs, and easy green liquid fertilizer. Yeah, you should be good, James. Or Jones, sorry. Hey man, been meaning to ask you, do you see a difference in growth with those magenta lights? So the magenta lights down here are really only for floating plants, and that's just because, one, I didn't want to spend money on an expensive light fixture, and two, I really wanted to test them out. So I will tell you, it's growing duckweed great. It's actually growing frog bit somewhat. Like, it's not like explosive growth that I have in my 55. That's just like tons of frog bit, but it's surviving. It's not dying. Sylvinia minima is actually growing with just these red and blue lights, so it's fantastic. And I have some Azolla there. I don't know how well the Azolla is doing. That's yet to be seen. The buces, ferns, anubis in my Hillstream tank grow faster because I have a filter that really disrupts the water surface, and it brings in atmospheric CO2 along with O2. Yeah, so I'm buying Blixa japonica. Any tips on keeping it? It's actually a fairly easy plant to grow. I actually will be bringing in tons of Blixa next week too. So I put a few up on the website because I had some extras, but I'm bringing in a ton of it. And I'm bringing in two kinds. I'm bringing in the japonica and the ubardi, which is the other type, assuming that they have it. So Blixa is nice. What you're going to want to do is, as it gets bushier, it's going to branch out. It's actually a stem plant. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to break off this, like a portion of the Y stem that you're going to have, and replant that. The more you do that, the more you're going to get. Once you get enough that you don't care, just let it keep growing, and it's just going to keep forming giant mounds. When I used to have the 55 set up in the old apartment, I planted like 3 stems of it and just got so bushy. It was just this massive amount of Blixa, and Blixa looks really nice. Funny thing is, I put some in this tank in the 40-gallon breeder. I just left it floating, and Blixa has this weird thing, I forget what it's called, but basically the leaves turn red under like direct light. It's something having to do with the chemicals in the chlorophyll and all that. Kevin Kelly had mentioned what it was, and I forget the name of it. But so they turn a bright red, but when you plant it, it will eventually turn green again. It's just really cool to see how like it turns a bright red leaf. It's incredible looking. What's up, 29 Deep? You're welcome, Alex. All right, let me get to the rest of this here. We're on a bit of a time crunch. I do have other things to do other than unboxing and putting away plants. This was supposed to be Jake's job tonight, but Jake had dinner with his mommy, so it's all me. So here are the regular jungle valves this week. Quite long, as you can see. These are just regular old jungle valves. And as you can see, if you were watching before, you can see that they're narrower leafed than the other ruby reds, and they're darker green. So if you're looking for dark green, it is nice, but I prefer the lighter green ruby reds. What's a plant I can get under $5? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do, but mossballs, some crypts. Shame on you, Jake. Yeah, right? Is Hygropenophilia a stem plant or an epotite, I think it's pronounced, right? So I believe epotite, isn't that a rhizome or something type plant? I believe that's the other word for it. Pinophyta could grow both ways. It can grow as a stem plant, or it can grow attached to things without needing substrate. So it's actually a very unique stem plant. Unfortunately, I lost all mine and I haven't reordered it yet, but I will in the future. Once we get one of the other tanks set up, I'll have more of that. This is a very beautiful plant. It was slow growing for me when I had it, but it was very beautiful. What would be the cost of shipping to Alberta, Canada? I don't know. I've never shipped to Canada. I don't know if I can. You're gonna have to message me, and maybe we'll see what I can do. It's gonna be tricky because I've never shipped to Canada, and I do believe you need a bunch of paperwork. And I've tried to do a lot of research on it, and everything I says points to these special permits you have to have. But we could try something if you really want plants. Not saying that I'll definitely do it, but we can see. I make no promises. Okay, so this is Anubis barteri, very similar to Anubis nana. This is actually the small size portion. It's a bit tinier than the medium size portion is what we normally sell. But this is all that they had was small portions, and I said, you know what? Rather than not having any at all, I'd rather have a bunch. So I ordered a bunch. Anubis barteri, so very similar to nana. It will get a bit bigger leaves than nana, and they're not as spade shaped, I guess. Nana is a bit, I don't know. It's nana has a different leaf structure. That much I know. So these are Anubis barteri. Yeah, duckweed right now is $2 on the website. That dark green jungle val matches my green target barbs. Nice. It is pretty easy and fast growing. Couldn't find it at Pet Supply Plus. When are you restocking duckweed? If you need duckweed, just message me. I have some. I actually have some mixed with Azolla, so if you don't mind having a mixture, Azolla is another floating plant similar to duckweed. I have a ton of that. I just haven't put it up on the website. Can Napongatons grow immersed or only submerged? So when they grow immersed, or when they get to their emerged state, they actually die back to the bulb because they think it's, the dry season. I'm pretty sure they die back to the bulb because they think it's the dry season or something like that. So what they do is they start retreating all their leaves back into the bulb, so that way when it does dry up, essentially in the wild, it can regrow once it gets wet again. Need something to replace my fake plants. Well, it depends on your tank, Jones. I would have to know a bit more about your tank. Research other places if you can't find an order online. Yeah. Later, Matthew. Where I live in India, there are pinophidias that grow on tree trunks too in the middle of the forest. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, pinophidias grow in they don't really need substrate to grow. So here's some dwarf sage. Great beginner carpeting plant. I do have a better one though than this, but this is just a whole lot in here. So let's lose one. There we go. Without it falling, there's some dwarf sage for you. And sticking on the topic of sedges, here are some broadleaf sedges. So it'll actually lose these rounded tips on the outside and be more of a straight up and down leaf that curls over kind of. It'll hunch over. Nice foreground plant if you're looking for a nice leafy plant for the front or for mid-ground. What's up, Adam? What's the best way to inject CO2 in your opinion? The Rex Grigg reactor style, if not, atomic inline diffuser. Okay, so there is the broadleaf sedge. Let me stick that in. You go in here. So you stay. This is the only plant that does not like to cooperate. And no matter what I do, unless I stick it in the substrate, it floats right back up. So it's a pain in my butt. What is this? Ooh. So here's a new plant that's not even on the website yet. It's a Apongeton undulatus. I actually have some in the tank. I ordered these a couple weeks ago because I wanted to try them out before I offered them to make sure that I understood their growth pattern and all that. I don't like selling new plants unless I unless they're really easy plants that I know are going to be easy. I don't like selling plants until I kind of have some experience with them. So it's an Apongeton type plant. The leaves actually get much taller than this. These are actually very short right now, and they get a wavy effect to them. They're quite nice. I'm going to have to put some of these up on the website. For right now, they can go right down in now. This is how we do it. Ah, wow, alright, these are big. If anybody ordered Crypt Bolognese this week, you're going to definitely get your money's worth, because these are listed as mediums on the website, where these are actually large, so these are huge. So Crypt Bolognese, huge plant. If we held it up as long as my forearm right there, longer. Nice plant, has rippled leaves. These will probably melt back though. That's the thing with crypts, especially Crypt Bolognese. I find them tend to be a bit more sensitive than most other crypts. They will melt a lot of their leaves when they're first introduced into a tank. That's typical of most crypts. These aren't any different. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and hold them down with, let me separate the bunch here. Get two bunches. There's one, there's the other. Gonna put these together, and there we go. How easy, hard is SUBSTRATE to grow? I actually have it growing right now on the ledge pretty easily. Actually, it might be Pelia that I have, because I have actual SUBSTRATE over there and it looks different. So what I have might be Pelia growing on the ledge over here, because I just put SUBSTRATE over there. Or at least I was told it's SUBSTRATE. I have to confirm the ideas of some of these plants, because I get them as one thing and I get them from hobbyists, and sometimes people might be wrong. So I'm gonna double check before I offer them up. But it's rather easy. I have a 48-inch strip light. I keep on 12 hours a day. Is that enough to grow the Bacopa, banana plant, and Java fern on wood? Yep, I would say you're good. What's up, Aruro? They kind of like Java ferns, yeah. But plants can grow in brackish water. Ruru would be right. Anubis and Acris, Java fern, jungle val can be brackish. I do believe you are correct on that. I've never tried it, so I don't know from first-hand experience, but I do believe, I know Anubis is, pretty sure. Water Sprite also, I know, can grow in somewhat of a salinity content. I don't know, full-on brackish, but... Alright, so next are some Water Sprite. Oftentimes I get asked for anacris or other types of plants that are normally mentioned for fry. These are probably the best choice. I'll tell you why. What happens to Water Sprite? Water Sprite grows extremely fast. It can either be rooted or floated, one of the two. What happens is, it's not a stem plant. It actually produces babies from the leaves, and those babies will create more plants. So literally all you need is one to start, and probably within a month you'll have more Water Sprite than what you know what to do with. So if you have fry, these make excellent hiding places. I will tell you, get the lace variety. If you're really looking for something for fry, get the lace variety over the regular. Regular will work, but the lace is definitely a lot more, it'll give you a lot more hiding spots for the hide over the regular Water Sprite. So this is the lace leaf. As you can see, the leaves are very fine as I deal with shadows. Very easy beginner plant. Recommend it. And then here is regular Water Sprite. And even though it looks similar, the leaves are much more broad. Hornwort's another good one, or guppy grass. What are some aquatic plants that cannot be grown immersed? I think most plants can be. Most aquatic plants can be grown immersed. Very few can't be, and that's just because most of the plants come from streams or rivers that tend to have a a flood season and then a drier season, where they don't necessarily all dry up, but they tend to have less water. And there's regular Water Sprite. Alrighty, what else we got here? Micro Sword. Supposedly, now I haven't tried it from, in my personal experience, it hasn't been this way, but I've been told Micro Sword is very easy for beginners to grow. But not the case with me. When I had it, developed a bunch of hair algae on it. That was in my 55 a long time ago. Maybe just my luck with it. I don't know. It didn't seem to work, but this is Micro Sword, so. When did you know you really wanted to sell aquatic plants? Well, I really knew that I wanted to sell aquatic plants for a few months before I actually started. It's just a Gary Vaynerchuk video that I watched on July 12th or July 13th, something like that, was the huge push that I needed to really get going on it, and so then I started. Stay down. No. Stay down. Nope. Not gonna stay down. I need more weight. Damn it, micro sword, really? Why you gotta do that to me, micro sword? Gotta go way down the micro sword. There we go. Just dropped a couple weights right on top. I didn't even freaking do anything with it. That'll hold it. What's up, Diane? How's it going? Microsword can be moody or easy depending on your pH. Some people have an easy time, other people's watch you die. Finally, I made it to a stream again. Finally! I'm buying plants off your website while watching your live stream. Well, thank you so much, creatures. I hope that you like the live stream and you're seeing all the plants, get an idea for what they actually look like. I will be, like I said earlier, we're going to be updating the pictures on the website soon to include like very actual sized portions of every plant so you know exactly what you're ordering. I just haven't had, that's a tremendous amount of work because you got to realize I think we have 180 plants on the website as of right now, not including all the new plants that are coming in that I have to photograph and all that good stuff. So it's a lot of time, gotta set it up, but all the equipment should be coming next week, so I'll be able to do it then. Oh, and these are red tiger lotus, for anybody wondering. These are actually a bit smaller than normal, but that's fine, they get big really fast. And they're not the best example because they're so small, but they grow from a bulb. The best way to plant these is you kind of just let the bulb sit on the substrate and you don't do anything to it. But if you did want to kind of plant it, what you do is you plant the roots, not the bulb. Leave the bulb exposed, because if you plant the bulb, it's gonna get it's gonna rot and get, you know, it's gonna go bad, and then your plant's essentially gonna die. The top of the plant can live without the bulb, but it just won't produce, or it won't, you know, keep growing like a lot. It'll grow, but it won't grow the way it should. And that's about it. Very easy plant. It's red typically, and it's very good. So it's going good, Jasmine. Thank you for joining us. I want to make an order, but I don't know if they'll get here before I have to go back to school next weekend. So if you order by Sunday morning, your order will ship out Monday and be to you by Thursday at the very latest. So if that helps you, that's how we do it. So basically the way we do orders is typically we do the paperwork on Saturday night for all the orders that we pack Sunday night, and then they get shipped out Monday morning, and then it's 1 to 3 day shipping, typically depending on USPS if there's any delays. Any orders that come in typically after Saturday night, after we already did paperwork, it really depends on how many orders we have. But typically, any orders that come in after Saturday night will get shipped out. Will get packed on Tuesday night and shipped out Wednesday, and you'll have them by Saturday. So, if that helps you, be able to figure out if you can order stuff. Oh, and you know what? I'm sitting here talking about how small those tiger lotus are. Look at this tiger lotus that's probably been in here only about a week. And look at how big the leaves already gotten. And the trick to keeping these small is actually trimming off these really tall leaves if you don't want them that tall, but it's up to you. The more you trim it, the smaller it'll stay. But the trick is to trim those tall leaves off frequently. Vesuvius has seen better days. Did I put this up on the website? I don't remember if I put any up on the website of this. So this is Vesuvius sword. It's very, it looks a lot like corkscrew valve, except it's a sword type plant. It will produce runners, same thing as like valves would, but it has a much better spiral to it. I don't know if this is available. Some of the leaves look a little yellow here. I mean, they'll make it, but they're not in the nicest shape as what I would typically like to see. So these will probably just go in the tank and kind of hang out for a bit before these are on the website, because I don't think I put these on the website. Let's see. Make Jake photograph them. Jake's about to get fired at this point. Happy summer is almost over. I hate heat. Yeah, it's not the best. I'm the total opposite. I'm hanging on to every bit of the summer. The Lotus Play is super awesome because it holds gas under its leaves. That it does. Looking forward to fall though. It'll be nice to have a little break from the heat, I suppose. This summer hasn't been too bad. I mean, we did have like a couple weeks there that were really hot in July, but overall it's not too bad. It's hydrophobic on the underside, so the gases CO2 are stuck to it. Daniel's just full of information. One time I found a dried up Anubis rhizome that somehow came out of my tank and it was all shriveled up. Put it back in my tank, and 3 weeks later it had gotten a baby leaf. I believe it. Plants are resilient. People don't give plants nearly as good of credit as they should. I got a green and red tiger lotus from you. The green one exploded and put out about 12 runners. The red one isn't doing well. Really? I don't sell the green one, so it might have been one that maybe was red that for some reason developed a green gene. Can I buy directly from you? Yeah, if you go to h2oplants.com, you can buy it right there. Does diversifolia branch out? It does. The more you trim it, the more side shoots it'll send out. It's a very quick growing plant, at least for me. Actually, I have a... Everybody was saying, oh, when are you going to have stem plants? When are you going to have stem plants? Now I have a ton of stem plants. I need you guys to buy more stem plants because the tanks are getting overrun by them. And you know what happened? I had a bunch of Ludwigia. I ordered Ludwigia green, Ludwigia red, Ludwigia dark red, Ludwigia atlantis, Ludwigia ovalis. And because all of them look so similar, other than like green, because green clearly stays green, but all the other ones get different tones of red. They all wound up jumbling together, and I couldn't figure out what's what. So now I put up a mixed bundle of them. You could just order 3, and you get 3 random stems, because I don't know what they are individually. Do you have any submerged Marsilia? Kind of. I mean, so depending on which Marsilia you want, I actually like. I didn't want to sell this one because this has been growing in here for maybe about 2 weeks. But look at this. This was one clump of 4-leaf clover that came in immersed, or maybe it's 2 clumps. No, it's 1 clump. Maybe 2. Anyway, all this is immersed grown leaves right here. All of this. So this thing exploded in growth, and I didn't want to sell this because I want to actually use this as a comparison. I'm actually planning on next weekend, or maybe even sometime this week. I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you right now. You guys are watching this. The Mac that I bought allows me to create videos so much faster. Literally, it took me... And this is learning straight out, like straight trying to learn Final Cut. It took me maybe 2.5 hours to edit my first video, which is extremely fast. I think I could get 2 to 3 videos out a week now using the MacBook. I honestly do, because it's so easy and it's so quick. Like it renders a video that would have taken my PC probably 2-3 hours to render. It took the MacBook literally 7 minutes. And that's crazy. It is like a crazy amount of quick speed. It rendered it so quick that I was able to watch the whole video, find a mistake that I didn't like about the audio quality, adjust it, re-render it, and it was done in literally like 20 minutes. So, like, that's crazy. That is so crazy. I couldn't believe it. I like read it online that they were like, oh, Mac optimizes iPhone footage and other footage with Final Cut. And it works so much better, and I didn't believe it until I did it, and I tell you, it is the best investment ever. And I'm not an Apple fanboy, don't get me wrong. I am a PC Droid user all the way, but Apple has the optimization that is just so good. And now I think I can actually do multiple videos a week, and I don't have to rely on an editor because I can do it my damn self with it. So it's a good thing. It really is a good thing for everybody, because you guys get more content, I get to make more content, and it's easier. The less time I have to slave behind the machine to make the content, the more I want to make it, because it's like, oh, I can do this video in under an hour, let's do it, you know, and I can make it good. It's not going to be like superb good, but it's decent. I'm at least okay with it. So Let's see. My S-Rapins isn't doing well. Planted in blasting media with root tabs. Dosing Easy Green and Iron. Phoenix Planted Plus Light on a 75 gallon. Any thoughts? Some plants look great and others have shriveled up. So Donnie, S-Rapins typically has those issues sometimes. In my 55, I was growing a fantastic carpet, right? It was growing great. All of a sudden, something changed in the tank. It all melted. It was still alive, and there were still stems there, and it sprouted new leaves. But like all the existing mass had melted. I think it has like a very sensitive thing where like if something changes, all of a sudden it's like no, not cool, and melts back. I will tell you, routine trimming of it helps, but you have to wait for it to get established. So once it's established and you see like it has a good root, trim it, and then that'll really help it grow more. And if you don't trim it, what's going to happen is it needs to be trimmed often, but you need to wait for it to establish before you trim it for best growth. What do you prefer, LED or fluorescent? LED all the way. So I placed my order. If you fill out paperwork for Natalie, that's me. Okay, Natalie, I got you. I love the Mac for video editing. It's so user-friendly in audio and photos. iOS is the best. Yeah, so listen. At the end of the day, I'm still using my PC for other things, but like the Mac kills it. I have to give it. And this Mac, I bought a 2012 Mac. I didn't buy a brand new one. I bought a fully upgraded 2012 Mac because it was the last Mac that you could actually upgrade things, and for all intents and purposes, all the research that I did pointed to buying that. Also, somebody from the viewers actually recommended buy a 2012, so I took his recommendation. I then did my own research just to confirm, because you don't want to, you know, as much as I know, like, you know, people are trying to help, you never know how qualified that person may be. So I did do my own research, and it did lead me to 2012 MacBook Pro. So I bought one. I bought a used one, found it online, and that is the best investment I've ever made, hands down, so far. Biggest time saver ever. So I expect a lot more content. I'm going to try. I don't want to like officially say, oh, you're going to get 2 videos a week yet, but I'm going to try and put out 2 videos a week just to see if I can, right? I may eventually run out of things to do, and then I may just do, you know, 1 video a week. But I think I could throw together 1 general video on different things a week, and then 1 species video every week showing you the differences. And my first one that I want to do is 4-leaf clover, and explain the differences between the two and how they grow and all that. So yeah, it's very good. Upgraded to SSD. Yeah, so the MacBook Pro, for all you techies out there, it's got 16 gigabytes RAM. It's the 2.7 gigahertz i7 processor. It's got the NVIDIA graphics card, and it's got 768 gigabytes of storage. I'm going to order a 2 terabyte external drive just so I can, if I need to swap between my PC and my laptop, I can do so easily and just use a solid state 2 terabyte hard drive. And yeah, the only thing, it does get very hot, but I guess that's kind of typical of a laptop. When rendering, like, you could hear the fans kick on. I mean, mine does that anyway, my PC, but like, you could tell it kind of gets hot. So if I'm ever doing anything from my bed, which is another reason why I bought it, because I want to be able to do website work and other stuff from my bedroom if I don't want to sit down here in the fish room, because sometimes it's like, oh, I want to go actually like sit down and relax and not like, you know, be stuck down here. So I ordered this too, just to be able to cool it, you know, so it's not like blazing hot, because if you've ever been under a blanket and have a laptop sitting on top of your lap, it could get very hot and very quickly. So let's go back and see some of these other questions. Donnie, S-Rapins can be temperamental. I had some in a 5-gallon, and one day it just totally melted. I recommend leaving it alone for a while. Just vacuum up dead leaves, and it should come back. Yeah, as long as the stems are healthy, they'll usually rebound. Rest of the plants in the tank are going strong. That's nice. Once I went to Apple products, I haven't looked back. Honestly, like, I have to say, ease of use, Apple definitely has it there. I still don't like the limitations that they set on their products. But ease of use and optimization, by far, they have it down. So PC and Droid, I hope that they, you know, and Android, I hope they really step up and really fine tune and really drill home optimization and all that. But I guess you may not be able to get the quality of customization with optimization, because then you have too many variables. So that's very possible. Let's see here. Jeez, you guys are typing a lot. Should I cut it back? I would definitely trim it. So I got a 50 watt heater for my 5.5 gallon tank because the store didn't have any 25 watt. It fits fine. Nice, Vince. All right, good stuff. Later, guys, going to find food later, Ruru. Collect a Bacopa Carolina natively. Mine had deep red stems, though. You might have actually got a Bacopa Colorada, possibly. It's very similar looking. If anybody wants to know, this is banana soda. One thing from Margaret's country, for all those that didn't know, Margaret's from Honduras. Oh, did I get something in there, or is that a bug? What is that? What is that? I don't know what that is. Whatever. Never killed anybody. A little speck of dirt. Maybe it did. I don't know. One thing from Margaret's country is this banana soda. It's so good. It's called bananina or something in her language. From Honduras. It's so good. Forget it. I'm addicted to this stuff. Mohammed said, I just set up a new fish tank and I want some guppies. Do you know a place online that sells them? And I saw Nicole had mentioned Guppy Train. Guppy Train, from what I know, I have never ordered from them, so I don't know, but I've seen videos about them and they do have some really nice looking guppies. With that said, I can't tell you 100% if they're good because I haven't had them. So I would look around and you know, see and maybe look up some reviews and get an idea. I have an extra CO2 system. Would that help the S-Repens? CO2 would help, definitely. CO2 really helps plants grow in general. With that said, it's not needed for most plants, but I mean, if you have plants that are kind of looking a little sluggish or not growing optimized, CO2 introduction would work. But keep in mind, if you introduce CO2, you got to keep CO2. You can't just take it away, or the plants are going to melt back, because they're going to be very used to that. Also keep in mind pH changes. They could melt once you jack up CO2 and all that. So, damn, you guys are talking a whole lot. And I keep pushing down this thing. There we go. Let's go. Up, up, up. All right. I'm supposed to be putting away plants. You guys got me distracted right now, but I enjoyed the conversation. It's all right. I'll stay up late putting these away if I have to. I'm the 12-year-old who lives near Hillside, New Jersey, who contacted you about plants on Insta. Oh. Well, I didn't know you were 12 years old, Aqua. It's a bit strange. But, I mean, if you want to meet at a local fish store, you could, I can meet you there at, like, Petco or something. It would be strange having you come to my house. Yeah, let's see. My pH stays around 8.2. Is that okay for most beginner plants? Any suggestions on how to bring pH down naturally? So, Amanda, CO2 will bring it down. Also, there is something else. What am I missing here? I have an old G4 that runs circles around a PC. G4, is that a Mac? Yeah, so the question, the conversation about the pH being high, I do agree with what Daniel and Amanda, Daniel and Jasmine are saying. A steady pH is better than you having to adjust pH to fit your plants. So the best thing that I would say is just get plants that will work in your pH. Don't try and bring it down unless you're running CO2. If you're running CO2, it's naturally going to bring it down, but I wouldn't recommend like adding stuff to try and get it down, because then it's going to fluctuate, and then your fish are going to have problems, your plants are going to have problems, and it's not going to be any good. Don't chase parameters. Put things in the tank that work with your parameters. That's what I like. The best advice that I can recommend is try and do things that are going to fit what you have versus trying to adjust what you have to fit what you want. It may not be the best solution, but it's going to be the easiest in the long run until you really know what you're doing. You thought it was whiskey? Yeah, no, it's not beer, it's banana soda. It's a delicious. What's a minimum tank for saltwater tanks? Really, any size. I've seen little 5 nano. What are they? The Fluval Edge. I think they're 5 gallons or maybe even less, as reef tanks. So you really can do it with any size tank. You just have to know what you're doing. And I may be sticking my toe in salt water very, very soon. The more I look at corals, the more I want them. Have you thought about selling fish and plants? My whole thing is I don't want to be responsible for shipping fish. One, I'm a big animal lover. When one of my fish dies, it really like bothers me. And if I ship a fish and it doesn't make it to you and it's my fault because either it's too hot, it's too cold, got delayed, whatever the case is, I would feel really terrible. So no. With that said though, I have played with the idea of possibly shipping Malaysian trumpet snails, assassin snails, and shrimp, very possibly. But that would only be during the spring and the fall when the temperatures aren't too extreme, because I would want to guarantee their success, and I don't want to ship in 90-degree plus heat. I don't want to ship when it's freezing. So it's probably not going to be anything this like now, but possibly next spring I may ship shrimp and snails, but not on a huge scale. I may just offer, like, I may get a bunch of cherry shrimp, and like if somebody wants to order like 5 of them, you know, out of like whatever I have, they may get 5 of them. I don't know. I'm not looking to do it as like, I'm not looking to be like, oh yeah, now we sell a ton of shrimp, but like I want to be able to offer something, so it's possible. It's just not something that's going to be right now and not for several months. The 75 is my low-tech setup. I'd prefer not to put CO2 on it. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest adding CO2. You could put a very small amount going, but that's about it. What's up, Austin? Did I miss the surprise? The surprises were just unboxing. Anubis is good. Yes, get a saltwater tank. Is it better to start with a larger tank for saltwater? They're more forgiving. Yeah. So everybody always recommends go big with saltwater. I mean, if you really want to test it out and you have the money and you don't mind losing money and you have it killing stuff, you could do a smaller one. But will you ever get into selling corals? You know, I registered the domains. I got all the Instagram, Facebooks, YouTubes, all that for what I want to do. The question is, do I have the space? Is it at all worth it? Because keep in mind, I've built this all off freshwater, so I don't know how many people have saltwater tanks, so we'll see. I want to try around and play with it and really figure it out, and I'd probably do that for maybe a year. And if I like figure out how to grow corals, how to propagate them, what makes them tick, maybe in a year from now or 2 years from now, then I'll, you know, maybe sell corals. But it would probably be really beginner stuff. It would be easy stuff, because I don't want to sell anything that, one, is going to be super expensive because it probably won't sell. There's already tons of people out there that sell the really expensive stuff. But my thing is, I think it would be best to cater to those like myself that would be transitioning from freshwater to saltwater, or that are freshwater but also want to keep saltwater, because you can keep both. There's nothing wrong with that. Corals are absolutely beautiful. I love them. The documentary that came out on Netflix, Chasing Corals, amped that up to me keeping corals that much more. I'm like, I want these now. So I'd also like to grow some saltwater plants. I think what is it, mangrove, there's macroalgae. I think there's like, I don't know if kelp's a macroalgae, but I know there's like other types of seaweedy type plants too you could grow in saltwater that I think would be cool. So my goldfish tank is pretty much full of Anubis. Yeah, Anubis is great. What shrimp like to clean tanks? Amano shrimps are good. Cherry shrimps can do well too. Dude, I've seen a lot of nice fish selling on Facebook, selling link thingy. H2O, can we meet up one day for me to buy plants? Yeah, we could. Like I said, if you want to meet at the local pet store, just inbox me what you want, I'll bring it, and there we go. What plants grow in saltwater? There's I don't know the exact names, I haven't messed around with them, but I want a reef soon, like in a year. Next, guys, is CO2 expensive or a lot of work or equipment? I don't know anything about it, so I will have to do some research. CO2 can be easy and inexpensive once you figure out what you're doing with it, but you always run that risk of gassing off your fish and killing them. I actually killed 3 of my Bozemantes that I loved to death. I killed them because my CO2 got out of whack and, yeah, destroyed them. So, if only corals came in freshwater too, yeah, it would be beautiful. What's your favorite plant? I got a lot of different ones. Right now I'm really liking my Crypt flamingos. I actually just posted a picture earlier on Instagram of it. When are you going to bring in Java moss on your website? It's sold out. Mohammed, this week, hopefully, I will be getting Java moss from a new nursery. I don't know if it's going to be submerged grown. If it's not submerged grown, I probably am not going to sell it because it's not going to do well transitioning. But it is the same stuff that my local fish store has, and I'm pretty sure it's good, decent. I got to really test it out first. What's the biggest tank you have? Right now it's the 55 that's set up. I have a 90-gallon in my shed, but I need to restore the glass. I need to polish the glass to get out all the scratches, and then I need to build a new stand because I don't like the stand that I bought with it. I bought the whole thing. I forget what I paid for it. But that one, I don't know. My idea right now is to do the 90-gallon as the goldfish tank that I want to do, but I don't know if it's actually going to turn out to be a goldfish tank. We'll have to see. I'm not rushing into anything, and I'm not buying anything that I know that I don't want yet, because even though I have all this space, it will run out very quickly, and I don't want to lock myself into something that I don't want. So I'm taking my time. I'm getting my grow tank set up first, and then I'll worry about the rest of the fish room and what I want to stock it with. Couple weeks we get to see the first plant pack. That's right, Racing. The first plant pack launches September 10th, or ships out September 11th. If you're not sure what plant pack is, it's a monthly subscription box to your doorstep of plants that I pick out, some of which are on the website, some of which that aren't on the website. That's just because it opens up the opportunity for me to order different kinds of plants from my nursery. If it's something that you want to do, head over to the website and check out the plant pack. You can sign up for a monthly trial, or a monthly option. You can cancel at any time. Or you can sign up for a year, or 6 or 3 months. And I'm actually thinking I'm going to remove the 3, 6, and 12-month option after September 2nd. I don't think I'm going to make those available anymore. That was for the first month. Everybody that got it, you'll continue to keep it at that price point. So either I'm going to remove them or I'm going to change the price, because one, they're very cheap. It's a sizable discount. A lot of people bought them, but I don't know if I want to continue to offer it. I think I might just do the monthly one going forward. So if you got it, good for you. You got a great deal and you're going to keep that price. I'm not going to change it on you, but for anybody new that doesn't get it, yeah. I want to get CO2, but I don't want to risk hurting my angelfish. You just have to be very careful. If you get CO2, small increments. Keep it very low. Get a largemouth bass for a fish tank. See, I'm more into smaller fish or less aggressive fish. I'm not really a fan of ginormous fish because you can only keep so many. I like the nano fish or the smaller fish because you can keep a lot of them. And I don't have to worry about them really eating each other unless they get really sick, and then that's when they normally go on you. So let's see. So this is dwarf four-leaf clover, and this is what it looks like submerged or immersed grown, right? But I'll show you what submerged grown looks like. So immersed, submerged. You can see how much smaller it looks and gets, right? So This is a great carpeting plant for almost any tank. It doesn't need a whole lot, doesn't need a highlight. It carpets out by sending out these little side shoots. This was growing in that tank without any CO2, and this is probably 2 or 3 weeks of growth right here. So it quickly spread out. So very good for all you people that are beginners. What's up, Kayla? How's it going? Some beta fried chick? What? Oh. What do you think aquarium planted to sunlight? You can do it. I have vases in direct sunlight. I'm looking at my dwarf four-leaf clover right now. It's already making the small leaves. I got it from you yesterday. Nice, Austin. Yeah, it transitions very quickly. It's already started in my tank. By the time it gets to you, it usually is already good to go. And it will start sending out runners. Keep in mind, all the existing leaves here will melt back. I tend to just leave them. I don't even cut them off or remove them. They will do plant good until it's like completely converted, so I just leave them be. I don't see a need to cut them. So. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 14. I only got 14. I did order 30, but I give 2 portions per order now. So you really get double for what you pay. And that's just because I want to give you a decent amount, because you know the existing leaves will melt back, and I find giving you extra is good because you get it growing faster with the more that you have. So. How long do you let the runner develop and grow on swords before trimming it off the plant to replant? You let the runner go for however long you want until the plant is big as you want, because once you cut it off, it's kind of done growing from the mama plant. Typically, you want to wait for it to get at least 3 leaves and have some roots, and that way it'll last. And you could let it keep going, and sometimes they'll produce multiple babies, so it's really up to you. But at least 3 leaves and some roots showing. What up, Aqua Apprentice? I bought a red tiger lotus like a week ago. It has no leaves and it was ugly. Now it has 2 small leaves, and which are very bright red. Well, thank you, Jaden. Oh, Jaden, were you Bob? Did you email me about that? Because somebody emailed me. They got their red tiger lotus, and sometimes they're delicate during shipping. They're one of the more delicate plants, similar to vals, that when they're in shipping, the leaves can melt a bit, especially in temperatures that are high or low. Yeah, it was Bob. Okay, Jaden, awesome. So the tiger lotus sometimes will lose their leaves during transit, or melt a bit. But once you put it down, as long as the bulb isn't mushy, if the bulb's still hard, it'll actually sprout new leaves within a couple days. So I'm glad to hear that it's doing great for you. But either way, I told you, if it didn't last, I would definitely send you a new one. But I was confident once you showed it to me, and we talked about it. I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna do good. But you never know. Sometimes it could, yeah. Checked out your website. We'll buy some plants once I am comfortable in what I'm doing. I am new to the hobby. No problem, Jones. Jones, if you ever have any questions, feel free to message me either on Facebook, Instagram, or through email, and I'll answer any questions you have. Do you have any submerged regular 4-leaf clover I can see? Sure. And while I show you that, I'm going to show you what it looks like when it first comes in, assuming that I got some. Yes, I did get some. Wow, this, holy shoot. Alright, so this is way taller than I normally get it. This is massive compared to what I normally it's about half this size. So this is what regular 4-leaf clover comes in looking like. And this is a clump that's been in there for about 3 weeks. So what you're gonna see here is all these tall leaves that are hanging over here, these are all gonna melt away, but all this is the new growth, and this does keep keep its 4-leaf pattern. The smaller 4-leaf clover doesn't keep a 4-leaf pattern. It looks a bit different. This is taller, but this is great for bigger tanks. So if you have a bigger tank, like I would say I would say 75 gallon or up, you want to get this if you want a carpeting plant that is big. If you have a smaller tank, the dwarf one is better because it stays shorter. But you could do this as a mid-ground plant. So behind your carpet, you could do this as like a mid-ground plant that you kind of plant in areas. If you wanted to in a smaller size tank, it would make a good mid-ground plant. But as far as a 4-ground plant, I would suggest 75 gallons or up. But that's nowhere as tall as what these are right here. These are super tall. So that's crazy how big those are. Kayla says, I upped my H2O gift card price to $50. Kayla, you doing a price? Were you the one that somebody ordered a gift card yesterday? Was that you? I need to be on my toes for the 22nd. Hopefully I'm not working when it's released. What are you talking about, Aqua? When what's released? What's the best way to start the Xmas moss, rock, wood, or on one of your ledges? Depends. So the reason why, if anybody watched the video of the aquarium vault, and I mentioned that the moss is growing on ledges, I'll tell you right now, it grows faster at the water surface. When you put it at the water surface and just barely touching the water, because it has a whisking effect, so it whisks the moisture up into the moss. When you leave it outside of the water, it's absorbing all the CO2, it's growing naturally, it's not getting direct light because it's off-centered to your main light. It grows much faster than it grows submerged and in the water. With that said though, it's still considered submerged because it's still getting wet. It's not, it's just not completely under the water. So it's allowing itself to absorb CO2 while still maintaining its moisture content, and therefore it grows so much faster. So I actually adjusted all of my moss to be at the rim of the glass, or the rim of the water line, to just be able to whisk the moisture away, or moisture up into it, and grow much faster. So but you could do Xmas moss on anything really. It'll grow fine, just depending on how fast you want it to grow. Walter, what's wrong with you? Is Anubis an easy plant to maintain? Very easy. Is it easier to propagate stem plants or plants with rhizome? They're both very easy, actually. Famous is your actual real name? That's awesome. That's an awesome first name. Oh, that was you. Alright, Kayla. Well, I appreciate it. Don't know why my anacros are melting away. Now we would need to know more about your tank to know for sure what's going on with it. How much growth could you expect with a new new dirted tank and plants? I guess it depends on various factors. It does. Depends on what kind of plants, it depends on what kind of light, it depends on water parameters, everything like that. Later creatures. I bought a couple of assorted swords from my local fish store a few days ago, and I don't know what one sword is. Can I send you a pic on Instagram to ID it? Yep, I'll do my best. With that name, you're guaranteed to be famous. That it is. Anyone can actually win. That's awesome. So Kayla, the nano chick, is giving away a $50 gift card to my website that I didn't even know about. Kayla, on your next giveaway, message me and I'll hook you up with something. H2O plant, noob question, but how do you share posts on Instagram? Never joined giveaways on there because I don't know how. Oh, so you could screenshot it with your phone, just screenshot, and then you could repost that as it, or you can use, there's an app called Repost on Instagram that you can do, and that'll automatically repost for you. So like on the Repost app, you could go to my profile, you click the photo that you want to repost, it'll automatically repost it for you. So it's really up to you, whatever you want to do. With that said, I think we will be doing another giveaway for either a 9-gallon flex fluval or fluval flex tank again very soon. I don't know if it's going to be on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, haven't decided yet, or a 15-gallon fluval flex as well. So are there any dwarf puffer fish that can fit in a 5.5 gallon? Dwarf pea puffer can. Actually, I think they recommend 10 gallons. I've seen them in nano tanks. They don't get that big. I mean, don't kill me. I'm pretty sure you can. I've never kept them, so I don't know. Didn't even think of the screenshot yet. How much is your Anubis? It depends on which Anubis. Anubis Nana Petite and Anubis Nana are, I think, $8 for the normal size portion, and that's just because they're super hard to get. They're in super high demand, and I can't keep them in stock. So, by the price being a little bit higher than the other Anubis, it helps to drive the quantity of sales down a little bit, so that way more is available, kind of thing. If you make it too cheap and you're always selling out, then what, you're not a smart business person, and people get upset when you don't have enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've heard of pea puffers in a 3-gallon, yeah. Do you have a banana plant? I do. I didn't order any more this week, but I do have some growing in here. They actually came in with very few leaves. So this one has, 2 small leaves, but banana plant nonetheless. It's healthy. It's actually growing under all these plants with no light at all, so it's actually kind of funny. I could tell you were very busy. I thank you for that, H2O. You're welcome. Listen, despite being very busy, I do answer every single person that messages me or asks me questions. It just may take me a day or two to get to most people, but if you've ever messaged me, I usually respond within 48 hours. So now I've gotten into the rhythm where I get so many messages that I kind of just let them all build up, and then I just do rapid fire and I go through one after another. Because answering one at a time can get very tedious, especially with everything else going on that I need to also do. If I sit there and answer one person, then 20 minutes later another person's messaged me and I message them back, and then it's this it's more work. It's faster to just wait till all the messages build up. So I have 10 messages, and then I just kind of go through them all and just be like, here's all the answers, or I need more info. The best thing you could do if you ever message me, give me all the info. Somebody wrote me a beautiful email the other day. I forgot who it was, but they gave me specs of the tank, what they're looking to do, everything that they have planned for the tank. Their water quality, their water temperature, their lights, their equipment, everything. Literally everything, a whole giant essay. And I feel crappy about giving them a short answer, but the short answer was the answer they were looking for. But because they gave me all that information, I didn't have to go back to them a million times and be like, okay, well, what size tank? What kind of light? What kind of filter? What water parameters, what fish are you planning on putting in there, what substrate, all these things. They gave it to me in one shot, so I was like, oh, this is what's gonna work for you. So it was great. I wish that everybody that sent me messages could do that too, especially when it's like a really trivial question that's like, oh, what plants can I put in my tank? Well, what are you doing with your tank? So I can, because there's not just a general answer. Like when somebody asks me what plant can I put in my tank, it's not just like, oh, get Amazon swords. No, I actually take the time to figure out, what you have, and make sure that I'm recommending a plant that I think will do well with what you're trying to do or accomplish, and actually give you real feedback, and not just be like, well, I have Amazon swords, so you should buy Amazon swords, because that's just doesn't make sense. I actually want people to do very nicely in their tanks. So how do giant hairgrass and microsword propagate? They propagate through runners. Do you know the name of the dwarf alligator fish? I think it's called a longnose. I don't. Do you sell fry? Nope. What do you mean by propagate by runners? So propagate by runners means that if you look at this piece of 4-leaf clover right here, you see this rhizome here, or this lateral growth. So this grows and it shoots out new leaves, right? That's essentially a runner. It produces stuff but laterally. A stem plant grows horizontally, and then as you trim the stem plant, you get side shoots, and that's how you propagate. You trim the stem, you can replant the stem, but it also has side shoots. Runners are essentially the same thing as side shoots, except they run horizontally, hence the name runners, versus side shoots. LRB Aquatics is here. Welcome, LRB Aquatics. H2O, no rabbit snails projects or any other snails? Not right now. I may get Malaysian trumpet snails and start letting them to breed, because they are very good for planted tanks. More people should have them. I don't currently have them. I may order Nerite snails from my nursery in the future, because they do have them. And I may breed cherry shrimp and see if I can sell some of those, or other types of shrimp that are very nice. But it won't be on any large scale volume. It'll be like one of those type of things that, every spring I may have like 3 batches of shrimp to sell. It's not going to be anything huge. Unless they grow fantastically and I have a ton of them, which I have no luck with shrimp, so they've all pretty much died. I do have a couple that I got from Rob still alive, but I haven't seen any cherry shrimp or amanas that I had in the one tank. They're all pretty much gone, so unfortunately. What's up, Sergeant Tanks? Jeremy's in the house. How's it going? What's up, Shrimp Life? If your blue velvet's ever bred, you'd give me some nice. Where can I buy Malaysian trumpet snails? You can hit up my local fish store. He'll probably ship you some. Go on Instagram and look up Fishtown USA NJ, or you could also find him on Facebook, same thing. Fishtown USA NJ as in New Jersey, and he'll hook you up. He has some. I'm actually going to probably go there tomorrow. I'm going to probably pick up some Malaysian trumpet snails just to see if I could start getting them to breed, see what happens. Found out about you from watching Aquarium Co-op's live stream. You plan to do combined live streams in the future. I actually haven't really talked to Corey in a while. Just, we've both been busy, and I know he's super busy, so I don't want to bother him. I feel like I'd be bothering him in a way. But we're coming up in January, I think, is when we did that live stream. I think it was January 7th that we did that live stream, so I'd like to see if he's willing. I know we're kind of competitors in the sense, like he sells plants, I sell plants, but I sell a lot of different types of plants, and he sells a lot of dry goods. So we have a very different products that we sell, but we do sell some similar products. So it's like helping out your competition, but I don't, I know Corey's a good guy. I don't think he minds. So I was thinking about saying, hey, Corey, it's coming up on the 1-year anniversary of our last live stream. Are you interested in maybe doing another one? So I'm pretty sure he'll be down. I just don't want to bug him and, you know, be like, oh, let's do a live stream every month, because, you know, he's busy, I'm busy. It's very difficult to do those types of things too, because you need to make sure you schedule it properly where you're both available, and then, you know, you could always have technical difficulties and stuff like that. So I'd love to do another one. It's just a matter of if he has time, if I have time, if we could get our schedules to align. But I'm gonna actually message him probably soon and see if he wants to do another one in January. That way, if I book it this far out, you know, hopefully we can arrange it. So there goes 4-leaf clover. Thanks, Shrimp Life, for real. So we're not seeing you guys in blue. What do you guys talk about? Who's Priscilla? Someone told me that SUBSTRATE is a fern while Pelia is a liverwort. Is that true? I haven't, I mean, I have some SUBSTRATE. That's definitely a liverwort. Or no, that's, what is that? I don't know. They look very similar to me. I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, I haven't had much experience with them yet to know for sure. Who you got, Mayweather or McGregor? Well, let's just say it this way. I would love it if McGregor won, but we all know that Mayweather's gonna run around the ring for 12 rounds and not get hit. So if I had to bet money, I'd bet on the person that ain't gonna get hit versus the person trying to do the hitting. But if Conor McGregor lands one good punch, I think he's gonna go down. I think he'll go down, but I don't think he's gonna catch him. The same thing with Pac-Man. Pac-Man was supposed to win that fight. Everybody was like, Pac-Man's gonna get him. Pac-Man's gonna get him. Pac-Man didn't touch him. So. Damn, Jasmine a traitor. Jasmine a traitor. What's up, Jenny? I do boxing for free at a recreational center because I live in a bad area. Aw. Four-leaf clover have to go in substrate. I mean, you could kind of leave them floating, but I would advise to plant them. Mayweather all the way, plus I'm a boxer. I'm sticking to a boxer. Justin, you need to make a shrimp safe formula, then I'll go back to Vital. What is Vital all-in-one fertilizer? It is. Have you ever been to Elizabeth? Yep. Go there often for food. What's your favorite plant and fish? Electric blue ram is favorite fish right now, and I like my crypt flamingos right now. Is one of my favorite plants. I have so many favorite plants. I'm a collector. It's like asking you to pick a favorite wine when you have a bunch of them. Actually, that was a bad analogy. It's like trying to pick your favorite kid when you have like 6 of them. Hey, what's your favorite plant? All of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we're going to just say that's 11 because these are both small. So that person gets 2. See, I wish YouTube allowed me to play music. I mean, I know I could play copyrighted or non-copyrighted music, but or copyright-free music. But that's too much work. Making sure that it's copyright-free. I could go to SoundCloud and put on a playlist of copyright-free, but you never know. One song could come up that is possibly copyrighted, and then there you go, you're screwed. Alright, so this is the normal 4-leaf clover. As you can see, quite large. Play elevator music, yeah, right? Alright, that stuff's literally just floating there because it's not going to sink. Do you sell hardscape material? Right now I'm all out, but I will have some soon in the future. Probably about in, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 weeks. This nursery that I order from and my other nursery both have spiderwood. So I'm thinking about ordering a bunch from them on my next order because spiderwood's nice. It's just rocks that I have to get from somewhere else. Alright, let's see if we can get through the rest of this because there's a lot here. These are Italian bells. Italian bells are much nicer, in my opinion, than regular jungle bells, but not as good as the ruby reds. The ruby reds are by far the best. But nice and big Italian bells. So here you go, corkscrew valve, small corkscrew valve. Sometimes corkscrew valve can melt a lot during shipping. It's very fragile. It's probably the most fragile out of all of them. It does stay relatively small. It's a nice plant, but just keep in mind when you order it. We actually, and I don't advertise this because sometimes I can't do it. It all depends on what I have. But usually, see, in this bunch, there's actually 3 plants. So what I've been doing lately is because of the shipping with these particular plants and other valves, I tend to ship 3 per portion with the intention of at least 1 should survive, and that way, you know, if you get 3 and all 3 survive, great, you got 3 plants. If you get 3 and only 1 survive, great, you still got your 1 plant that you initially ordered. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, LRB is not Lucas. He's LRB. It's different. Is it hard to replant and put in structure after the water has already been added and the fish have been added? Not really. It depends on the fish and stuff. Name a restaurant in Elizabeth. Well, we were going to the Honduran restaurant there, but we will not be returning for a very particular reason. UG basically eat baby shrimps. Rachel literally said it does when I was speaking to her about it. I've never personally seen it, but then again, I haven't really been looking. So I will take her word. She has a lot more experience than me, but she says newly hatched shrimp can be eaten by bladderwort. Didn't know you had fruits. I don't have shrimp and was looking for an all-in-one. C-Chem has too many bottles. Yeah, so Rich, we have an all-in-one. We're also going to be launching Vital X, which is the all-in-one formula for high-tech tanks. So if you have a high-tech tank, Vital X will be out very soon. I'm actually, depending on when I get done with this, I'm going to record a quick video. I already have the video ready for tomorrow. That's already uploaded. It'll be out tomorrow. I think you guys will like it. I'm going to record another video because there's something that I want to do with the plants I just got in real quick. Then I'm going to work on the new label of the Vital and Vital X for noise because I'm getting new labeling and a new bottle for it. So, but I have to install Photoshop on my laptop first. I'm trying to think of a new YouTube name. Yeah, LRB. Your name is too similar to Lucas's. I've mistaked you a couple times for him. All right, we got red Reuben swords here. Very nice, smaller red plant. They will get a little bit bigger, but as you can see, the leaves here have a beautiful red color to them with green veins. It's an awesome little plant. Red Reuben swords. This and Kleiner bar swords are the nicest looking red plants, other than the red flame sword. Red flame sword is very nice, but they're extremely hard to get from my nursery because they run out so often. For those of you with small tanks that like the Anubis coffeefolia, typically we have medium or large sizes, but we have itty bitty Anubis coffeefolias in this week. So this is Margaret's favorite Anubis. It's one of my favorite Anubis. The reason being it has much darker leaves typically, and it has very rigid texture to it, and it looks very nice. It definitely stands out from other types of Anubis. And this will be one of those that I feature in the goldfish tank because we're going to be doing the planted goldfish tank very, very soon. So, yeah, these are baby Anubis. So, they're great. They will get big eventually, depending on your tank setup and what you have. But they're great small Anubis if you want to throw them in your tank. I actually have one in one of the jars upstairs, one of the planted vases that literally... On this vase, we don't do, well, I don't do water changes, period, on most stuff, but we haven't done water changes. I haven't even topped it off, and because it has a lid, everything is self-contained. It has very little moisture evaporation, and there's no algae. It gets very little light, but moss is growing. There's a moss ball in there, there's some boost, and there's, what else is there? There's a piece of Java fern and some Anubis coffeefolia. All of it's growing great. Minimal lighting, just a sponge filter, a heater, and that's it. No water changes, no top offs, nothing, and it's still growing. So, Anubis coffeefolia. I need to get rubber mats for the floor because I make such a mess. One day somebody's gonna slip and it's not gonna be good. So another plant here is Kleiner bar swords, and while these don't do it any justice, this plant actually gets beautiful bright red leaves after it's in a tank for a while. The green leaves are all its immersed state. A small ecosystem, very cool. Yeah. So, H2O, if we meet up, do I have to pay for shipping? Nah. We'll meet up at a local fish store and you'll be good. Do valves melt if I use liquid CO2? Yeah. Which plants can grow floating? A bunch of plants can, famous. Jasmine actually answered it for you. Aqua, if you want plants, just let me know. I'll meet up with you somewhere and we can get them. I'm just not going to give you my home address because it's a bit weird. When's the next shipment going out? Can't wait to get the plants. So Jenny, if you've ordered up until tomorrow night, every order will be going out. They'll be getting packed Sunday and shipped out Monday. So they'll be in the mail Monday, assuming that you've already ordered or ordered by tomorrow night. So I'll give you guys a little hint on what tomorrow's video is on. Tomorrow's video is on one of Margaret's vases. So you get to see that if anybody's interested in planted vases. I actually want to do a much better video on it because I kind of got the thinking, and this probably isn't true for a lot of people, but people that live in big cities like New York City, right? Hold on, this camera is weird because it's got like a weird light shadow going on, so let me adjust this. I want to do a video series on planted vases because, there we go, much better, not blocking the light as much. So I want to do a video series on planted vases because I feel like people that live in big cities that have small apartments can't have fish tanks, even, you know, nano fish tanks that are 5 gallon or something. I feel like those might be too much or too big for them or not look aesthetically pleasing in such a small apartment. But I feel like a planted vase would be awesome. So I want to do a whole series on planted vases. I think it would just inspire more people that, and I want to do it with no maintenance. So a no maintenance planted vase. That is my goal. And which I already am succeeding at. One of the tanks is great. So Kleiner bar soil. So Joey's messaging me. Cool, I like that idea. Banana plant vase would work. Planted vase would be good for an office. Yeah, so the planted vase is really good for anywhere that you don't have a whole lot of space. And my idea is, like, I want to do a full-on planted vase for under $100. So it could be literally an aquarium, fully stocked. So I'm talking substrate, I'm talking the vase itself, I'm talking all the equipment, or like maybe $150. It might be closer to $150, and plants. So. Is your website updated? Yeah, the website has everything. Pet moss in a bowl. But I actually want to do it with like fish and all that. I was thinking about getting Rachel O'Leary to do a partner video with it, where I would do the vase itself and she would supply the fish, and you know, she would do a video regarding nano fish for the planted vase. So it would be a dual video type of setup. I was thinking about seeing if she would want to do that. I think it would be a cool idea because she knows a lot more about the fish than I do, and she has a lot of cool nano fish that I saw at her house. So I think it would be cool if I can get some fish from her for the vase and do it. Can you do it with natural light? Yeah. So that essentially that's what the planted vases are doing. They're natural light. I'm not doing anything. I don't have any light over them. It's all from a window. Chili rose borers are sweet. Yeah, that's what she has. She has the chili rose borers. She had a couple other ones that were really nice. I'm like, oh, I really want them, but I didn't want to, you know, impulse buy anything. And then I could also do shrimp. So I could do, one with shrimp and one with fish possibly. So I'd really like to do like a whole step-by-step thing, where I get the vase, how to do it, and whatever else. So who does the tank sculpting? Well, I would put the tank together. Like the plants and all that. I'd show you the plants that would work well for it and all that. So, but I think it would just help to bring in a new audience that isn't that may think that fish tanks are too much work or something that they can't do. But I mean, the one vase up there that gets minimal light still grows plants, and it's doing great. So I just want to find another vase just like that with a lid and be awesome. I have clown, killifish, celestial pearl danios, and chili reservoirs for nano fish. I'm going to get scarlet baddest. Nice. What size vase? So most of the vases that I found are anywhere between 2 and 5 gallons. So I want to find like a medium-sized one and do it that way. Like we already have 4 upstairs, but I'd love to, like, I want to go into where I get them from normally. I want to like film that. I want to film picking out a vase, showing the price. You know, the prices on the vases, if you find them on sale, they're anywhere between $10 and $25, depending on how big they are and what they're consisted of. But I think it would be really cool to show to people, and I think people would get inspired and be like, you know what, that's pretty cool. I have an office, or I have a, you know, I have a little space in my bedroom, and I've always wanted to keep fish, but I thought it was going to be really expensive, but literally $100 gets you, you know, what you need, and that's including plants, substrate, fish. You know, fish might be slightly more expensive. It really depends on where you get them from. But I mean, you could even just do a beta, and a beta is like $15-20 depending on where you get it from. So. Now that I have my new editing machine, it's actually something that I could possibly do. So. How about one of those big glass candle holders? Yeah, you could definitely do a big candle holder too. You know, anything that's glass that holds water that looks nice. The things I like things that I would recommend though, if you ever do a vase, and this will be in the video, I would do anything that's round, completely round, and anything with 4 or 6 sides. There's some that have really short sides to it that's like an octagon. Those are no good. I don't really like them. But if it's completely round, or it has no more than 6 sides and they're at least like 3 inches long, then they're good. But if they're like this long and they're like a hexagon or something, it's no good. Margaret or Walmart has those big glass cookie jars. Yeah. So, but I don't want to do an actual tank like Tank and Fishing says the fluval chi is cool. It is, but I want to do something that is out of the box, right? Is different than what you would normally see, because people see, this is the thing. Some people look at a fish tank and say, oh, it's just a fish tank. But when you see a planted vase, it's different, because it's like, oh, that's cool. I never thought of that. It's a bit different. It's a bit more inspiration. I guess people thinking, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I could keep fish in a little vase. Oh, these are Cryptwendiddy greens, by the way. A bunch of Cryptwendiddies. Michael's would have a lot of cool glass containers, yeah. Yeah, I did that with the goldfish bowl strictly for plants, yeah. What's the discount code? Discount code on the website is August 25, save 25% off your entire order. Going to the thrift store to get my vase now, Bob. Thrift store is another good place. We've actually gone searching. Me and Margaret will take car rides just looking for vases that she could use. Done it several times, so. What's in the box? In the box is goodies, Eric. What's wrong with you, Walter? What's wrong with you? So Walter got prescribed Xanax the other day for his anxiety. I don't know what goes on with him, but he got a prescribed Xanax. It's pretty funny. Gonna get more of those Crypts soon. The one I already got grew 2 new leaves. Nice. The kindling is cool for a center leaf. Yeah, I love their stores. They have some great glass, great large glass straws. Yes, they do. The problem is all the ones that I've been finding lately are all those like weird textured ones, and like it's horrible for doing an aquarium. But if you get one with smooth glass, it's definitely good. So these are Crypt Wendiddy. What are these? Red? Yeah, these are red. These haven't been in stock for quite some time because the nursery was out of them, but I have them now. They are red. I mean, they look green, but they get red. Very nice Crypt. If you're looking for a Crypt, they get some color. This and the brown ones are very, very good. Which I got more browns too. So this one, because this is the Crypt red, I'm going to put that down here so it doesn't get mixed up with the other ones. The Crypt brown and Crypt red always seem to get mixed up for me, and I'm like, oh, I'd hate when they get mixed up because then I can't sell them, and then I just give them out as like freebies. If I don't know a plant, I don't like to sell it unless like somebody's like, oh, I don't care, I'll take it. Do you ever get crenums? I can get Crenum calamestratum, but they've been out for quite some time. But if you want some, just message me and I'll see what I can do. I was actually going to order them this week, but they didn't have any, unfortunately. So Crypt Wendiddy brown, very similar to the other ones, just brown in color once it converts. Ah, that thing of micro sword came up. Damn it. Now it's just floating around. I like Walter more and more. Is there a difference in your water you use for your plants in New Jersey compared to Staten Island? I honestly don't know. I don't test my water. I don't do water changes. Just let my plants do their thing. The more plants you have, the less maintenance you have to do. Assuming you got everything else right. If your lighting's too strong or it's on for too long and your nutrients are out of whack and you know all those other metrics aren't good, you have to do a lot more maintenance. But because all my metrics are good, I don't do any maintenance. I just top off the tanks every week. Matter of fact, they're due for a top off because their water lines are very low now. So much so that most of the moss is actually not even in the water. Oh. Completely forgot to tell you guys what this is. This is Crypt Parva. If you're ever looking for a really good beginner foreground Crypt, this is it. It looks really tall now, but it actually gets really tiny. It'll get about this big. This is just the immersed form. Oh, by the way, guys, if anybody was following the tank build, how I was building these racks, and what I told you about how there's essentially no filtration outside of a micron sock and some lava rock rubble that I put in there, so far so good. Even though I'm not testing the water, there's no issues in the tank that I could see from lack of filtration. So I think it's working the way I thought it would. Justin, how your last dwarf algae eaters are going and their name, please? Well, the reticulated flying foxes are what I'm guessing you're referring to. They're actually doing quite well. I put 10 in that tank. I counted 8 before. I don't know where the other 2 are, but I didn't really look around. I just was like at the front of the tank and most of them came to me. So They're doing really well. I have 5 in that tank. I've only seen like 3, but my CO2 is really high in that tank, so I'm afraid I might have killed 2 of them. But overall, they're doing well. Both tanks, I haven't seen any algae, so I don't know whether they're doing it or I just figured out what the hell the problem was or what, but very little, if at all, any sort of algae in either one of the tanks that were really infected, you know, 2 months ago. So they're doing quite well. If you know, I can't say 100% definitive it's them that did it, but everything that was an issue is no longer an issue. So you like the dog in the background? She's so annoying, but whatever, she's quiet. So my Apogenon plant flowered, and it actually survived the flowering. By the way, it's supposed to die after it flowers. Yeah, well, what it does is after it flowers, it normally tries to consume its own leaves. So you're supposed to just kind of let it do that. Once it's like to a certain point, you're supposed to take it out of the tank and just keep it damp but not completely submerged, and like put it in like a something with not a lot of light. And then after like 2 or 3 months, I think you're supposed to put it back in the tank. Jake's being a damn troll. What substrate do you use in all your tanks? So for the 4 grow tanks, it's Eco Complete, or I'm sorry, Seachem Fluorite Red with clay. The new rack has Seachem Black. I like it a lot better. It looks a lot nicer. So eventually the tanks with Seachem Red in it are probably going to be transitioned over to Seachem Black, because I don't like the way the red looks anymore. I like the black. It sucks that I spend all that money on the red, but because those bags are, let's just say it's $20 each, 4 bags of tank. That's $80 a tank. That's $320 that I spent on that. What I'll probably do with the substrate, if I do decide next summer to do tubs outside for growing like floating plants, I'll probably just keep the substrate, stick it in there, and grow like something that's easy out of it. Maybe like some bacopas or some water wisteria or something like that. But next year I'm going to do some outside tubs. If not this year, but it's late in the season already to start. But I really want to try growing plants outside, along with having shrimp and other types of fish in there that can spawn. This is Pygmy Chainsword. It's great for larger sized tanks as a carpeting plant, or a mid-ground plant for smaller sized tanks. I have some in my 55 gallon. I would say probably 75 gallon. It would look great as a carpet. But if you're going to do it in anything smaller than a 75, I would do it as like a mid-ground plant. That kind of will carpet in a sense, but it won't be the direct foreground. So very nice mid-ground plant. Get off there. Jake, quit being a troll. Last time you tried shrimp, you killed all but one. Shut up! Your dog's squeaky toy in the background has got my dog going crazy. He hears the squeaks and can't figure out where the toy is. Oh, I'm sorry. Any good suggestions for plant that don't take away from the fish but still look good? Well, it depends on the fish. Like, my whole thing is you want a black or white background, right? Because the black or white is going to make the colors pop. So you do a black background or a white background. Then you do colorful plants. But the trick is, and what I've realized, is less is more. So what you would want to do is, personally, from like looking at a tank setup, I wouldn't do more than like 8 different species of plants in like an actual aquascape, because when you have so many of them, it looks too cluttered. Less is more, and the trick is just to get a lot growing at one time. So, but as far as plants, I wouldn't take away from the fish. I would do a lot of green plants, because the green won't take away from the fish as much. If you want plants that stand out, you'd want to go with like red and yellow and pink plants that really stand out, because, you know, obviously they're colors. Want Ludwigia White? Yeah. Jake, what time are you coming to work tomorrow? Are you actually coming to work tomorrow? I saved all the tanks for you to paint, because I don't feel like painting them. So that's what you get to do tomorrow. You get to paint the tanks, and you get to organize the tanks too, because I don't feel like Sitting here cleaning these. That's your job. You do it. Sorry, no Ludwig away for you. Damn. Damn, bro. I gotta be so mean. Okay. So pick me chainsword. Where should I put pick me chainsword? Put pick me chainsword over here. What else do I have? Am I almost done with this? My pretty. Something new to the website that I actually have to add. So if you've already placed an order but you want some of this, feel free to place another one. I was just waiting to get it so I could take a picture of it. But what we have here is lace leaf Java fern. So it's actually Java fern with it almost looks like water sprite, lace leaf water sprite on the tip, and it's lace leaf Java fern. So if you're looking for a different type of Java fern, I got you covered. These are going to go over here so I don't confuse them. Not that they're easy to confuse, but I have to add those to the site tonight, so like I said, if you want to just order it, I'll refund shipping. Julie, my plant you sent me died. No, Julie, that's not cool. Shoot me a message. Let's see what happened to it, and I'll send you out new ones, if anything. Jake would say, sorry, I got breakfast with my mom. I won't come to work tomorrow. Alright, so now we got big ol' Amazon swords. These are actually, I ordered smalls and these are mediums, so these are a bit bigger. Or no, I ordered mediums, these are larges, so these are pretty big Amazon swords. At least probably 10 inches there. So if you ordered Amazon swords sell out so fast, it's crazy. You guys buy these up like crazy. I guess because they're great beginner plants. So that's one. Amazon swords are very easy beginner plants to grow. They don't need a whole lot, but they do benefit from root tabs or substrate nutrition. So if you have a good substrate that has lots of nutritional value to it, so things like Eco-Complete or Seachem Fluorite or ADA Aqua Soil does well. I'll be buying from you soon. Well, thank you, Fish Tanks. Appreciate it. The swords are huge. Going to fill out nice. Yep. They're very, very nicely sized, big swords, so. And for the most part, they have a lot of already transitioned leaves, which is good. Sometimes I get them, they're all emerge grown, and you know, then those tend to lose a lot of leaves, but these have a lot of submerged grown leaves, it looks like. So that's a good thing. Just need more money. Don't worry, Fish Tanks, I'm in no rush. Whenever you can order, that's fine. Oh, well, I got a couple of you guys here. We got about 20 people here. I was thinking about rolling out a new feature to the website. I was going to do a daily auction of something, right? So it's a plugin that plugs into the website and it allows me to do auctions. And I could throw up a daily auction. So once a day there would be something up to bid on. It might be just like an overstock. Let's just say I have a ton of Pogo erectus and nobody's ordered it and I just need to get rid of it. I throw it up. Here's today's bid package, and then people can bid on it throughout the day, and whatever it ends up on, that's essentially what you pay for it. I think it'd be a cool way because, one, it helps me get plants out of my inventory or out of the tanks that I really don't have space for. And it allows you guys to maybe get them at a good price rather than me throwing up a lot and saying, oh, I want this much for it, whatever it sells for, as a bid or auction. That person will win it. So, or like sometimes we'll have like, maybe I'll have like an Anubis that I ordered, then nobody bought, and it's like, okay, well, nobody bought this, I need to get rid of it, and then boom, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I'll start the bids at like $1, I'll start at $1, and whoever bids for it, I mean, I'm sure it'll go up, I don't know how high, but, it'll be a good chunk of plants too. It just won't be like one plant. It'll be like, like all these Pogo erectus I have, I need to get rid of. Because sometimes I have inventory that sits here, like, I don't know, banana plants. Banana plants are one. They don't sell they'll sell sometimes a whole lot, and then I'll go weeks without selling any. It's like, okay, I got a bunch of banana plants that I'd just rather just get rid of if anybody want them, and then throw up the bid, and maybe not daily, maybe like every couple days there would be a new one. I just have to play around with the plugin more. I was looking at it the other day and I was like, oh, this might work. It'd be kind of a cool idea. Alright, so all the Amazon swords are weighted. I'm going to throw these down in the tank. That tank is officially full of plants. Dude, mature plants? Well, it would do with whatever plants I have, Like, I have a lot of pennywort sometimes. Like, people won't order pennywort for a while. I have a ton of it. And I don't trim it because I'm like, well, somebody's eventually going to order it. But if I'm like to that point where, okay, I need to make space because it's just getting too out of control, I trim it all and I say, okay, here's a bunch of pennywort, who wants it, kind of thing. Alright, last couple plants here. I got more weights. Jake, I got more weights for you to do your job. Yay. By the way, would anybody be interested in buying weights? So they're plant anchors, perfect for aquarium, anchoring aquarium plants and water garden plants. Pliable, will not rust, not toxic to fish. I don't know if that means they're toxic to shrimp. I'd have to find out. They're lead, so I don't know. Gently wrap a strip around the base and I don't know. Lead strips? I don't know. I mean, I use them like crazy, so I ordered more. Yeah, you need some? Maybe they're up on the website. They're very useful. I find them very useful. I don't know. I typically think that people would have substrate, but then again, yeah, I'd have to look. I'd have to read up if lead is dangerous for shrimp. I'll probably have to ask Rob. I'll ask Rob and be like, Rob, is lead toxic to shrimp? Do you know? Have you tried? Jake, how was your date with your mommy? Did you buy her dinner? Did you know if you didn't buy her dinner and you work, can you make more money than she does? That's a problem. I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna be like, listen, your son makes more money than you do, and he didn't even buy you dinner. Her friend paid for you. Whoa, who's her friend? You told me you were going out with your mom, not like a blind date with somebody. What goes on here? Don't trust Jake. I don't trust Jake. Jake has been calling out on me. We had a threesome. Oh, that's gross, bro. That's with your mom. They don't even use lead in fishing weights anymore. Huh? I mean, I use these in my tanks. I haven't really seen any issues with them, but I just don't know which shrimp, if they'd be bad. Oh my god. Does your girlfriend know about this? Jake doesn't have a girlfriend anymore. His girlfriend is my girlfriend. Okay, we went over this. We went over this a couple weeks ago. Jake's girlfriend is now my girlfriend. Jake's girlfriend's gonna take Jake's job soon, too, if Jake's not careful. Alright, so this is a rosette sword. What's cool about it is, if you see there, it has like a little pointed tip to the leaf. Really cool. It's got some nice texture to it too. So pretty cool plant. Good for small tanks because it doesn't get too big. At least you show up to work, yeah, right? I use lead for fishing, it's cheaper. Well, I think the reason why these are lead is because they're pliable. I don't think there's a pliable metal like that that is rust proof. That is very pliable. Anubis ephezelli, beautiful red rhizome. It stays rather small, so it's good for smaller aquariums. Got a bunch of those. I actually have a bunch in here, supposedly. Supposedly I have like 50 of these in stock, and I'm like, I don't see 50. Alright, we're down to our last two plants. Got some huge clumps of Java fern. Java fern. This is still streaming? Yeah, we're just about done. Jake, what did you do with them? Yeah, Jake disappeared. What time is it? Holy crap, it's 10 o'clock. My tank is a 20-inch high. What plants grow that high? I want to create a border across the tank with two different colored substrates. Half planted, half barren like a desert. They grow tall. Well, jungle vowels, giant hair grass, which is this plant right here. Giant hair grass. 20 clumps. Let me break this up into 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, good, we good. We good. That's one. 10, 11, 12. Really, honey? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Ran out. 18, 19, 20. Alright, 20 pieces of giant hair grass. Great background plant. In the pool. Everybody in the pool. Thank you, Harry, for your order. Just saw that come up. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that's ordered while and before the live stream. Let's see, we got, how many orders did we get while we were live streaming? So, what was this order? Was it earlier? So, Deanna, thank you very much for your order. Saw that you placed 2 of them. I'll add on the cold pack. Got you. I'll refund you the shipping for that. Jenna, Kimberly, Lucia? Is that how you say that? Lucia, Natalie, and Harry. Thank you guys so much for your orders. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that's it for the plant unboxing, guys. That's Jake's problem now. Jake, come take out the boxes. But, alright guys, thanks so much for checking out the live stream. If you haven't already, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new, if you're just now catching this. We'll be back on Sunday to do another live stream, and be sure to check out tomorrow's video. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Oh, we just got another order. Sarah, thank you so much for your order. If you guys didn't know, we're doing 25% off right now on the website. August 25 is the coupon code. All month long until the end of August. So I will see you guys. Honey. Hey. Honey. What are you doing? No. Bad dog. Alright, I gotta go stop hunting. She's chewing on her thing. Alright guys. I'll see you on the next one. Later.